felt implored to record a video because I've spent a lot of time recently with some younger people that I'm coaching and mentoring in our business, as I'm sure many CEOs are coaching and mentoring younger people in their business because it's very rewarding. And looking back over the years and determining and trying to logically reason with what is it that makes some people succeed and some people not succeed. And we've had a lot of internal discussion about this with our company recently, so I want to share a couple thoughts. And I think there is one major determining factor, if I had to pick one, the big one, and probably it's not very surprising to most people, but the main factor that I have observed that leads to either success or non-success is really simply in the action of not quitting, just not quitting. Like, I think young people get two things wrong. There's a lot of things they get right. There's two things they get wrong. Number one, they think it's going to be a lot easier than it actually is. Like, there's a sense of entitlement to some kind of a success. But it's really very, very difficult to succeed in anything, in any field. Like, to be a lawyer, to be a banker, to be an accountant, let alone, here in our company, to succeed, you are really only successful if you're in the top 1% of your industry. Like, there's hundreds of thousands of lawyers in all major cities. And only 1% of those are partners in like respected, solid law firms. And there's a lot of unemployed lawyers. And so being a lawyer does not guarantee success. You have to be in the 1%. And it's the same for accountants, and it's the same for people in the clothing business. So young people tend to underestimate. They think that having a professional designation or being in a profession is a guarantee to success. And nothing can be further from the truth. All it does, every iteration you go up the ladder, all it does is put you in competition with other people who have made it to that iteration. So it gets more competitive. It doesn't get easier. So number one, young people tend to underestimate how hard it'll be. And number two, young people tend to underestimate how much time it'll take. Like, I recently had a call with a wonderful young lady in our company who's been a very good producer, and she's been with us for about 2.5 years. And she expressed frustration that after 2.5 years, she hasn't reached her goals. And I said, well, it's very unrealistic to think that you'll reach your goals in 2.5 years. Like, that's preposterous. And then the more I look back into other instances, I've realized how wrong the timeline is for most young people when it comes to what it'll take for them to reach whatever goals they may have. And my guys and gals talk to me, and they say, well, you're kind of youngish, so. No, thank you. They say, well, how long did it take you? I'm like, well, I've been in the sales game for 15 years. Like 15 years I've been doing the things that I'm doing nonstop, like really nonstop. There's no 40-hour weeks. There's no 50-hour weeks. They're much, much more than that. Much, much more than that. And so the time that it'll take, when people ask me, what's like the benchmark for time, I say 10 years. And they go, that's way too long, because some people are 23 and they're like, that's like almost half my life. And I go, right. If you're not willing to invest 10 years of your best effort into it, I don't expect that you will succeed. And if you do invest 10 years of your best effort into it, there's a chance. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance. So those are the two main things that I've noticed with young people. It's their how hard it'll be, and secondly, the timeline for success. Would love to hear your thoughts.